Enthusiastic, welcome back to Chronicles of Tech, where we dive into the stories behind the gadgets that changed our lives. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Chloe. Today, we're rolling back the clock to talk about an invention that transformed every home and office in the world, the personal computer.
Mischievously, but wait, before we hop into the historical nerdiness, I've got a question that's bound to stir a debate. What's one task you still prefer to do on paper rather than on a computer?
Lightheartedly, ooh, that's a good one. I think I'll save my answer for later because, trust me, it's wild.
Chuckles, alright, folks, make sure to stick around till the end for Chloe's scandalous answer and some fun insights into the history of the personal computer. Let's kick things off in the early 1970s. Picture this, the world was buzzing with innovation. People were just starting to get connected through the internet, and while computers existed, they were behemoth machines that cost an arm and a leg and could only fit in impressive offices, not living rooms.
Right? It's hard to imagine a world where your computer was the size of a fridge. Laughs, and speaking of sizes, that's when one man's vision started to reshape the future.
And who was that visionary? It was the one and only Steve Wozniak.
The Woz. I love him. He's like the lovable uncle of tech. His nerdy charm and enthusiasm were absolutely contagious.
For sure. So, Wozniak and his buddy Steve Jobs teamed up to create the Apple I in 1976. But hold on, unlike the monstrous mainframes of the time, the Apple I was somewhat, what's the term, compact.
Compact? It was still about the size of a loaf of bread. But hey, they managed to make it into a kit that customers could assemble themselves. Talk about DIY.
Teasingly, a DIY kit for people who may or may not have known how to solder a circuit board. Amazing. Let's just say a few of those machines likely ended up as very fancy bookends.
Laughing, definitely. But the wild part was the spirit of the people who bought those kits. They were adventurous, hungry for challenge, and absolutely willing to dive into the unknown tech frontier.
Those early adopters fostered a counterculture of creativity and innovation. They were practically the tech hipsters of their time.
Exactly. Fast forward to 1977, and we've got the Apple II, a game-changer in the personal computing world. It came with color graphics and an awesome array of software. This wasn't just a hobby anymore. It was a full-fledged product.
And that, my friends, is where the personal computer starts to infiltrate homes. Fast-paced growth, baby. The home computer was no longer just a weird hobby, soon it was a household staple.
Smirking, can you just imagine the family dinners where everyone gathered around the glowing screen instead of catching up? No, how was your weekend? Did you see the new game on the Apple II?
With a chuckle, and I can hear Grandma screaming, I just want to play solitaire. But while Wozniak and Jobs were revolutionizing their way into everyone's homes, they weren't alone in this race. Over the next few years, more companies jumped in, like Commodore and IBM, the big guns.
Oh, for sure. The floodgates opened, didn't they? Suddenly it wasn't just about making computers. It was about creating that sweet OL, user-friendly environment.
Yup, around 1981, the IBM PC hit the market. It was like the ultimate fighter of personal computers, showcasing the best of the tech world and challenging all other contenders.
And it came with a compatibility feature that allowed others to develop software for it. It was a tech open source party.
Enthusiastically, total tech utopia. But competition got fierce, and as the years went by, we witnessed the bloom of innovations, upgrades, and ultimately, the user-friendly interfaces we are drowning in today.
Chiming in, don't forget about the rise of the mouse. I mean, thank goodness we don't have to rely solely on keyboard shortcuts. Can you imagine playing Minesweeper with just a keyboard?
Laughs, absolutely not. But the mouse is just one of those features everyone took for granted.
True. But it's the combination of all these elements, appealing graphics, intuitive interfaces, speed, and affordability, that truly laid down the tech highway we're still racing on today.
So, after all this tech magic, what is that burning question we put out there earlier? What's the one task you still prefer to do on paper instead of on a computer?
Grinning. Well, I have to admit, I love writing actual letters. There's something magical about pen on paper.
But isn't sending emails just easier?
Sure, but getting a handwritten letter is like opening a time capsule.
Playfully, you have a point. Alright, let's wrap up. If there's one takeaway today, it's that the personal computer is not just a piece of technology, it's a part of us. Just like those quirky habits we have.
And speaking of quirky, be sure to remember to revisit this episode and share your wildest computer stories with us on social media.
That's all for today's episode of Chronicles of Tech. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time.
Keep those techie stories alive and kicking. Together, bye for now.